Your life is made up of a lot of different things that you do, and a lot of the things that you do are habits that you do automatically. Some of them are things that you really worked for to make sure that every morning you're getting up on time, or you're doing this, or you're doing that. And other habits are things that you maybe did unintentionally, but they're just the things that you did over and over until your body got used to it, and now you do it every day. Habits, however, can kind of like make or break you. So you want to build up as many good habits as you can. If you're looking to make this year the best year of your life, then I have a couple of kind of random habits that we're going to talk about that can improve your life. Not a ton, but marginally. There's a lot of research that says if you can get 1% better every day, or every, few days, or every week, then you will increase how good your life is by a lot after a while. At first, these little habits won't make a huge difference, but if you stick with them, they can make a big difference. Now, what we're not talking about here is I'm not going to sit here and tell you to drink water or to exercise or to read books, because even though I think water and exercise and books are all super important, those are things that you already know that you should be doing, and that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about little super random habits you might not have thought about that will actually make your life a little bit better. And then, if you do all of them, then it's like this much better. And then if you keep doing them, then they might get even better. So we're talking about just, little micro habits you can include in your life. Not a ton of them that will make your life just a little bit better. So if that sounds good, then let's get into it. If you're new around here, I'm Becca. I'm a full-time elementary music teacher and side hustler extraordinaire, which means I am super busy, which means I am super intentional with my habits and making sure I'm doing anything I can to make my life just a little bit easier any chance I get, so that I can then, hopefully have a little bit of free time or less chaos or something. Right. So if that vibes with you, you want to see things about like productivity, planning, behind the scene vlogs, that kind of stuff, then hit the subscribe button down below and then you can keep watching. Okay, these are in absolutely no order, but habit number one is, I know I said I wasn't going to say drink water, but I am going to say drink water. Specifically, drink water before coffee. So when you wake up, your body is not quite ready for coffee. Actually, there's a lot of studies that say coffee first thing in the morning is not the best time to drink it. I'm not going to quote any of them right now, but basically you want to wait at least an hour to drink coffee. How I've kind of translated that is just drink water before you drink coffee. This is especially helpful because it makes sure you get a little bit of hydration in at the start of your day. And I would also say, I'm filming this in January, but I live in Georgia and it is hot. And especially in the summer, it is super important to make sure you're hydrated. And so drinking water before I drink coffee has been instrumental in making sure that I'm hydrated, because then you don't get to noon and be like, oh my gosh, I haven't had any water today. So drinking water before coffee can just help you feel a lot more hydrated, keep on top of that. And, honestly, I've started craving it. I started this because I would work out in the morning, so I was getting water to work out. And then I started drinking lemon water, which is just even better. Because I don't like the taste of water in the morning for some reason. I can't explain it. But lemon water in the morning is great. So I drink lemon water in the morning, and honestly now my body craves it. When I wake up, I am like, I need my lemon water. Where is my lemon water? And I want it even more than I want coffee. Sometimes I forget to drink coffee until like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And then I'm like, oh, I didn't have coffee. We should rectify that. Now, I am all about coffee. We are pro coffee over here, so I'm not against coffee, but I do think you need to be hydrated. So drink a cup of water, a bottle of water before coffee. Number two is going to sound very random, and that is check the weather every day before you get dressed. First, I just want you to check the weather. I want you to see, hey, is it going to rain today? Is it hot? Is it cold? Just look. Just look before you get dressed, because it's going to make you make much more informed decisions about what you're wearing in terms of like, do I need something for rain gear? Do I need to bring my umbrella? Those kind of things. Just at first, I just want you to look at the weather. Okay, I do this when I usually hang out here on my couch, and I like do my morning routine and I work a little bit, and then I go upstairs and get dressed. So while I'm walking up the stairs, usually am checking the weather to see what the weather is. So level one is just check. Level two is to check the weather and come up with little like guidelines for yourself to help you dress appropriately for the weather. So for me right now, it's winter. And so I have guidelines in my head of kind of like what I need to wear depending on the weather. These are not written down. They're not strict, but I just know, hey, if it's under 50 degrees, I need to have tights on or leggings on or pants on. Like I need to have something like that. I also in my head have like, okay, if it's under 60, I'm probably going to want a jacket. If it's under 50, then I'm going to want like a coat. And then if it's under like, I'd say if it's under 30, I'm usually going to want gloves. And so having those things in mind make a huge difference. I started this because I used to run in the morning, and so I would check the weather, and then it helped me figure out like what to wear, because in the, you know, it's like cold, but then you're running, so you get hot. So it was really hard at first for me to figure out what to wear, and so I would just check the weather every day, and it kind of helped me come up with guidelines, and then I do that now all the time. I also see, you know, in the summer how hot it is, so I know if it's like over this, you know, if it's over 90, I probably don't want to wear a cardigan at all. I like to check the humidity because I live in the South and it is humid here, but just looking and checking and seeing like, is it gonna rain? Is it not gonna rain? How cold is it gonna be? How hot is it gonna be? Is really gonna help you, because, you know, sometimes the weather's unpredictable and you're like, I thought it was gonna be cold and it's hot, and now I'm stuck in this sweater and I can't do anything about it. And I just hate things like that, because it's something super simple that I am in control of, and I don't like to be uncomfortable for no reason. Okay, like if I'm uncomfortable for a reason, I'm fine, but if it's fully within my power to wear a coat and not be cold, then I want to wear a coat and not be cold. Okay? Okay. So drink water and check the weather every day. Number 3 is anytime you make a casserole, make 2. So I personally hate cooking. It's the bane of my existence. But a lot of times I will make something that goes in the oven. So I'll make like chicken bacon ranch casserole, or like buffalo chicken casserole, or different like casserole, like breakfast casseroles, that kind of stuff. Nowadays, whenever I make one, I always make 2 of them instead. So instead of just cooking 1, I just cook 2. And what that does is I can then put 1 in the freezer. And then next week or in 2 weeks, when I'm like, ugh, I don't want to cook, I can just pull 1 out of the freezer, stick it in the oven, and now we have a meal that we don't have to like DoorDash. But it wasn't a lot of extra effort on my part because I was already doing it anyway. You could take this obviously and run with it and do lots of them, but I usually just say, you know, instead of 1, I'm going to make 2, and that is non-stressful enough that I will actually do it. So that's been something that has been really helpful for me lately as far as meal prep goes. You can get those like disposable casserole dishes, or I usually, the reason I do 2 is I have 2 casserole dishes, so I'll make 1 and then I stick the other one in the freezer, and then, you know, next week I have another one. And sometimes I make casseroles in pie pans, and you know what, they taste the same. So there's that too. Number 4 is one I talk about actually a lot, and that is to have a tentative plan for your day. I do this in something called my ideal week, where I just map out like what I would like my week to look like. And that way I can keep track of like, oh, well, you know, I sing in a choir on Monday nights, and I stay after school on Wednesday afternoons for like to teach choir. I have a lot of choir in my life. So I just go through and I say, okay, like if it was just a normal week, what do I want my normal week to look like? And what that does is it makes sure that I'm not wasting a lot of time. So I know when I come home on a normal day, when I come home, I like to either take my dog on a walk or do like a few minutes of yoga or stretching. Nothing complicated, just a little bit of stretching. And then I like to practice piano, and then I like to clean the house. Well, I don't like to, but I do it. And then I make dinner, and then after dinner I have like a couple of things that I like to do that I can kind of choose from. This is not like super specific. Like today I got home a little bit later than normal, and I'm filming videos, which takes my whole like afternoon time gone. Well, really evening time, because it's like almost 7 o'clock now, which is why it's pitch black outside. But having a like tentative plan for the day just means that you're not coming home and like automatically laying on the couch and watching TV. You have something that you're already planning to do. So your body's already like, oh, I'm going to do XYZ. Now, does it have to be super strict? No. The amount of times I don't follow my plan is insane. But having a plan means that you're a lot more likely to do things you actually want to do than if you don't have a plan at all. So I'd highly recommend having a plan, whether or not you actually stick to it most of the time. Number 5 is every day I want you to notice something in your house and give it a home. So everything in your house should have a home where it lives. Your keys should have a home. Your purse should have a home. Your toothbrush should have a home. Your book should have a home. Your water bottle should have a home. And if something doesn't have a home, then it's going to become clutter. So just give things a home. Where is your charger going to live? Where is your laptop going to live when you get home? Like, all of those things are really simple, but if you are constantly losing things, especially if you give it a specific home where every day I put my keys here, then you're a lot less likely to lose this. This might involve you finding like bowls to hold keys, putting up a coat rack, any of that kind of stuff, but just really think, maybe one a week, maybe one a day. How can I, where should this item live? So that way you don't just have like a bunch of random things everywhere. This can be as simple as, oh, the bananas live on the counter on the left side. Or it can be as complicated as, I have like a whole little cart over here that has like all of my art supplies and everything's in a little jar, and it took some time to organize, but it's really helpful because I can find everything pretty easily. So giving things a home is like just the best. Highly recommend. You can just use cardboard boxes and your whatever. If you're using boxes, labeling them is really helpful. Highly recommend. But every day, just give something a home. Next up is start ordering things when you're halfway through them and not when you finish them. So halfway through the aluminum foil, buy a new one. Halfway through the olive oil, buy a new one. This will help you if you are constantly like running out of things, because I hate running out of things, and being without them, because that way you can just kind of keep on top of things, almost out of cotton balls, go ahead and order them without stressing about getting all the way down to 0. If you do it this way, then you will have a little bit of a stockpile. If I am ordering something, then I'm gonna have to store it for a little bit, but we're not going super crazy and being like, oh, let's order 5 of these. I just want you to order one when you're almost out of the other one. So when you're about halfway through, go ahead and order the next one. And you can, of course, use your brain. And if you're like, oh, this is a large item, it takes a long time, maybe you do like when you have a quarter left, go ahead and order a new one. But if you do it this way, then that will help a lot on cutting down things that you maybe forget to buy or order, and then you hopefully won't run out of them quite as soon. The next one is a good thing to talk about at the beginning of the year because we're so far from the holiday season, and that is buy presents throughout the year. So all throughout the year, you and the people in your life will talk, I hope. And when you're talking, people are going to mention, oh, hey, I would love to have XYZ. Oh, I was just getting into this hobby. Oh, I am interested in XYZ. Oh, that book sounded good. Either go ahead and buy things when you see them or keep a list. So if someone mentions something specific, I put it down in a list. I just keep a list on my phone. I was going to put a list in my bullet journal, but I'm just now realizing I didn't do that. So I usually have a list in my phone. And if I'm at my mom's house and she's like, oh, hey, I love that sweater, I'm like, great, buy mom's sweater. Or my husband's like, oh, I wanted to do XYZ, then I'm like, great, we need to buy this. So that way, when the holidays roll around, I already have a list of things that people are interested in, and I'm not stressing about trying to come up with all these different ideas. I still usually have 1 or 2 people I don't have an idea for, but this way at least I have some people covered. You can also buy gifts throughout the year, which would help a lot with like budgeting wise, because then you're not like, especially Christmas wise, like you're not spending as much at Christmas because you're spending throughout the year. So even though it like evens out, it's a little bit easier on your budget. But I like to do this more specifically when I see something that's perfect for someone. So if I'm like, oh, mom would love that, then I grab it for mom. Oh, so-and-so would love that, then I grab it for so-and-so. And that way I'm just like gathering things, and I just have a box in my closet where I just stick presents. And that way when it is time to give presents, that I have them, whether that's for birthdays or for, Mother's Day, Father's Day, that kind of stuff, or for Christmas or for Hanukkah or for whatever, you have things available. And it's not like super stressful when you get to gift giving occasions and not being able to find something. And the last one is the biggest one here on this list, and that is start your day with a morning routine that focuses on yourself. This is something I really, really, really worked on throughout the year of 2024, and really worked to build a routine that not just would get me ready in the morning, but would really like kind of feed my mind and my soul and help me start the day off right. So in my routine specifically, I have like an alternating thing. So some days I work out, some days I don't. But either way, I will read my Bible, and then I'll do a little, like maybe like 1 page, maybe like 2 or 3 pages journaling, and then I will plan out my day, and I usually will flip through my bullet journal when I do that. So I will flip through every page, that way I can keep track of like trackers and things like that I'm looking at. And it's not super long. It doesn't take like a super long time, but it's focused on like me and what I need. And that's really helpful. If you're not religious, you don't have to read the Bible, but you could read, find nonfiction books that you're reading or different things like that. But just having a morning routine where I'm focused on like getting myself right has been really helpful, so that I can then present my best self to the world, whether that is when I'm at work at school, or whether that's making videos here on YouTube, or just making sure I'm keeping track of as much as I can, or just showing up for my family. Like, it's really hard to show up for your family when you don't feel your best. So if you can come up with some kind of morning routine that will help you. You may not have a ton of time. First of all, you can always get up earlier. Secondly, it doesn't have to be crazy. Your morning routine could be you spending 5 minutes drinking your coffee in silence, or drinking your lemon water in silence and then making your coffee. That can be your morning routine. It doesn't have to be crazy, but just have something where it's focused on you, or maybe like add something fun. Like, my husband always takes a shower first thing, and he's started like lighting a candle in the bathroom when he takes a shower, and it just like creates a little bit of an ambiance. It smells good, and it's just like something that's like unnecessary but is kind of fun. So if you can add in kind of fun little things. I love journaling, or maybe I'll do like little doodles. Maybe you like art. Maybe you do art in the morning. Like, cool, do that. Like, whatever you want to do is fine, but if you make sure you're like nourishing yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, and then ideally if you could also maybe add a little bit of like fun things in there too, it's just going to help you start the day off in a much better thing. And especially if you have a job or a family where you are spending most of your time caring for other people, and you're maybe not caring about yourself very much, having a morning routine that focuses on you is life-changing, because it's so much easier to feed into other people if you have fed yourself, literally or figuratively. I'm gonna go because my pup is ready to play and keeps invading my space. So she, I think, is done with me filming for today. Thank you for watching. I have really enjoyed this little random habits video. Obviously, this isn't everything in the world, but it's a couple of things that will make your life a little bit better, which is what I'm all about here on this channel. Thanks so much for watching, and leave your habit ideas in the bottom. Comments. I can't think anymore. Okay, bye.